Okay, we will be just looking at the architecture of your business objects today.
Yeah.
Completely, like what are all the different versions we have, and one second. One second.
Okay.
So, have you been familiar with any other version than your XIR3? Actually, there were different versions of business objects XI before
No,
your,
no, not at all. No, not
not
at
at
all.
all, right? One
Yeah.
second, just let me one document. Okay, anyway, like actually, I have one document
Yeah.
which shows your different data warehousing concepts which are consolidated here. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
just go through this document. I will
Yeah.
be sending it. So actually, these
Uh-huh.
are some of the concepts which we use in your designing. Okay,
Okay.
so what do you mean by factless fact? So whenever you go here and you see, so factless tables are nothing but your tables which does not have any measure set up, only keys they are having. So if you see
Okay.
here,
Mm-hmm.
this task key
Mm-hmm.
now,
Yeah. Do
you
we
have,
really have any scenario where you would use a factless fact?
so whenever you want to join tables between two tables, if you have multiple joins between the two tables, like if you have many to many joins, you can
Mm-hmm.
have an intermediate table which will help you in just connecting the tables. So if you want to like,
Okay.
so it will just store the context data. Suppose if I say,
Mm-hmm.
if consider this example here, we
Mm-hmm.
have the date dimension, insurance policy, risk covered, and then we have these other dimensions here. Okay, so whenever
Yeah.
you want to get answers to the following questions like which locations sorry, which locations had the maximum number of claims in a particular year.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
will always learn that you will have a policy information, right, in dimension. So
Yeah.
what you do is you just count the number of keys on this fact table of this
Mm-hmm.
reinsurance policy. Okay, so whatever you
Yeah.
do, it is just a intermediate table which is used to
Mm-hmm.
connect some multiple dimension tables. Just it will
Okay.
show you only text information, not any measures, or it will not have any measures
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you just go
Yeah.
through this,
Yeah.
you will understand very in detail. Actually, I've just consolidated all these examples, everything into one. Okay, so you can understand by looking at this. They have given
Yeah.
each and
Sure.
everything with examples there. Okay,
Okay.
so what do you
Yeah.
mean by open source BI? So it is
Mm-hmm.
becoming popular right now because where
Mm-hmm.
you use the open source codes to create your data warehouses, so that you
Okay.
have the lower cost of ownership. So
Mm-hmm.
you will not have any you will be using some of the open source codes to be
Mm-hmm.
used in one of your BI, that is in your data
Uh-huh.
warehouse. Okay, so I'm just
Yeah.
telling it as I told you on that day, like if you are, when do you call a tool as a BI tool?
Mm-hmm.
You call the BI tool if you have its, if it follows the standards of BI 2.0, which has standards for designing of your warehouse, ETL,
Yeah.
reporting, analytics.
Yeah.
Then you say
Yeah.
that it is a BI tool. So
Yeah.
that is what is nothing but here just a BI tool here. So what do you mean by materialized view? Actually, this materialized view comes into picture whenever we create a data warehouse on your Oracle database.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's nothing but your stored type of view. So if you go here, you can just go through it. So
Yeah.
materials list are provided by Oracle, and it is a stored summary containing pre-computed results from an SQL select statement. Okay, and the
Okay.
data is pre-computed. Materialized views allow the faster data warehouse query answering. Okay,
Yeah.
what are all the types of materialized views? How you refresh those materialized views and everything he has explained here. So
Okay.
parallel processing in data warehouses. Okay, so I'll send this document later after this class. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's first go to architecture. Okay, so actually before going to this architecture, okay, I just
Yeah.
want to show you. I want to do some. Okay, so what are all the previous versions we have in your business objects actually? Okay, so business objects as a report writing tool has come into picture in some of the 1990s. Okay, and it is
Yeah.
1995 or something like. At that around of time, they have released a business objects 3.0. This is different. Okay, R 3.0 is different. 3.0 is different. Okay,
Okay.
and then we have business objects 4.0. After that we had same thing business objects 5.0. Then we had 6.5, same thing business object 6.5. After that there is an entire change in architecture, and
Yeah.
the version was called as business objects enterprise XI version. Okay, then after the XI version, then just I will be giving all the version details, then we will be solving them in detail.
Yeah.
Enterprise, we have XI R2. Okay, then the latest version of business objects enterprise XI R3.0 has come first, then R3.1. Then we have in the R.3, the latest is the R3.1 Service Pack 3. Okay, this is the latest version, like Business Objects Enterprise XI Release 3.1 Service Pack 3. Okay, so this has so many capabilities. So in after this XIR2, they have changed the entire architecture in terms of your integration with your SAP BI. Okay, they have just released a 3.0 version so that they can integrate with your SAP BI. But while
Yeah.
looking at while integrating with your SAP BI, there were a lot of issues, and there were no proper integration happened with your SAP BI systems. So there is some
Okay.
problem with between your uh, actually there is SAP BI and your SAP business objects will communicate with the help of XML files. Okay, in between.
Okay.
So internally it will have some XML files which will be used to interact with the uh, PI from the business objects. So there were some issues in your refresh, and there were problems like we will not be able to read the data completely, and there used to be some memory errors, there used to be XML data provider errors, so many errors were there in 3.0. What they have done is they have covered everything and then released a new version called R3.1. Okay, now
Yeah.
this R3.1 Service Pack 3 has a very good capabilities of connecting to SAP BI and do the reporting on your SAP BI. Okay, so there were some architecture differences between your SAP BI and your SAP business objects. So they were not able to tightly integrate it. Now also it is, I can say, like 50% it is integrated, and we will be getting a new version in R3.3.4 That is 4.0 in September.
Okay.
You will be getting a new version called R4 version. Okay.
Okay.
So what is the main basic differences from your 6.5 below versions and your XIR2 versions? So if you know just that, then you will be, it is quite enough as a developer to understand the architecture. Okay. In 6.5, always the data was stored in the, I mean to say, like we used to have a repository database. Okay. What do you mean by repository database? So it contains information about the tool structures which are created in your business objects. Suppose if I create a report, okay, it has some extension to it. So it will have some, suppose if you have a web intelligence document, we will have a .id, report name .id file. Okay.
Yeah.
And the information about this file, like you have
Yeah.
what is the report name, who has created it, okay, and when he has created it, and what is the source for the report. All this information like your metadata and about your objects created in your business objects are all stored in your repository database. So before installing any business objects enterprise, we should have compulsory a relational database to store this data.
Okay.
Okay, so you will have a database associated with this tool. Same wise, you will have some associated, if you know Informatica, there will be a repository database for a Informatica also. So any BI tool will have a repository database. Okay, and it should be compulsorily a relational database, that is RDBMS. Okay, where you have the joins and you can have the relational concepts. Okay, so
Yeah.
so this repository database in 6.5 version used to have 33 tables in the
Okay.
repository. Okay, whereas the XIR2 has, from XI version onwards, they have completely changed the repository and they are maintaining only 9 tables.
Okay.
Okay, they have shrunk to the repository on how we store the data in your repository. So why there are 33 tables? Actually, in 6.5 all the data was divided into domains. Okay, so we used to have security domain, and we have universe domain, then we have document domain. So all the data pertaining to any business object will be created and stored in your this 3 domain areas. Okay, so actually each domain has 11 tables associated with it. So you have 3 domains, 33 tables. Okay, the security domain, in the sense it is storing only the security information there. If you have any, and there will be a security ID created for every user, groups, objects, and what about the relation rights and everything. Sorry. Okay. Then we have universe domain, where it stores all the semantic layer information. So universe is actually a reporting layer which we create in your business objects. So it has its own importance, for which we create all your documents, that is reports, crystal reports, or any documents. Okay. So the reporting layer information is stored in this 11 tables of universe domain, and the information about the reports are stored in your document domain. Okay. So they were having 33 tables. Okay, they used to store the data along with your metadata. So if I say metadata as well as your data in it, suppose if you have a report in the same, say, report.id. Okay, so this report has some information, right? Metadata, like what are the other columns, who has created everything, that will be stored in your one of the domain. Okay, then also that domain, that is a document domain, also contains the report data also. As a report, physical report object is also stored in your database, data file. So how you have stored the data file in your databases? You will use the some binary large objects, right?
Yeah, box. Yeah.
Yeah. Same wise, they used to store the data in your document domain, and they used to store the actual physical file in the report and the table column. Okay, so it has both the metadata information about the report and the actual physical data file stored in your repository tables. Okay, whereas in your XI versions onwards, okay, this is same applies to all the versions from XI to XIR 3.1 Service Pack 3 also. Okay, so they are storing the data, that is physical file. They are storing the physical file on a separate file structure, whereas the information about this file are stored in the database. Suppose I can say this, if you have the report ID file, okay, information about the object will be stored in repository, okay, but the actual object which is created will be stored under a file structure, that is a file folder on the server, CMS server. Will be stored on the server under a folder called input directory. So the name of the file folder is called input folder. Okay. So
Yeah.
now you have separated the actual file and stored in the file structure, whereas the information about that file will be stored in your repository database. That is, only metadata is now stored in your repository tables. And here everything is treated as an object, whether it is a security or whether it is a universe, document, server, object, crystal report, whatever it is, everything is treated as an object here. So they have only object level tables there, and it will contain all the information, and the type of the object will be there in each of the table, which will specify what is the type of the object, whether it is a user group, whether it is a folder, whether it is any reports. All this type is mentioned in one of the column. Okay. So now the repository has been shrinked so that it will store only metadata, that it will contain only 9 tables. Okay. Whereas the physical files are stored in a separate directory called the input. Okay. This is the main difference you have to understand. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, all the versions which you have, suppose if you say in 3. Okay, it was mainly used as an report writing tool on a single machine. Okay, on a single machine. There is no server or something like that. Okay, then in the 4.0, they have introduced a client server model, where you have one client and the server will be one, and multiple clients can be used to access or create the reports from different machines. So here also it's the same, but an additional model, additional tier has been added here, what is called as a web, client server and then web. So it is called as a 3-tier model. Okay, you will also have a web tier here. So some tools, they have made it of online so that you can access it from your anywhere from the world, around the world. Okay, so this is the same thing, but here the web tier is advanced here in 6.5. Web tier, they have some features added to make it more flexible than the 5.0. Okay, so these are the main things. So it is a 3-tier, and whenever you come to the business objects XI onwards, it is 5-tier model. Okay, so what are all the 5 tiers which we have? We will be seeing in detail right now, and at the end of this session, you will also see what are all the new features added in your XIR 3.1. Okay, that is the PPT which I have right now. So as I told you, the architecture from XI to R3.1 is the same. Okay, and R3.1 onwards, they have just introduced a new concept called server intelligent agent. Okay, which is specific for each node. Okay, I'm going to say like this server intelligence agent was installed on each machine, which will in turn consist of some set of particular tier services which will be running in the backend. Okay, so I'll just
Which will be
explain
run in the
backend services.
okay.
So it
Okay.
consists of some set of services which belongs to certain tiers. I have told you like 5 tier model. I will be telling you. So each
Yeah.
tier has some set of services. Okay, and these some set of application tier, that is a intelligence tier and processing tier, are combined into a one called as a server intelligence agent. Okay, I'll just explain it later. So we have 5 tiers: client tier, application tier, then we have intelligence tier, then we have processing tier and data tier. Okay, so the data tier will always consist of drivers which are needed for connecting to either a repository database or to a SOAR database. So it consists of all the driver applications, all the DLL files which are required for our connecting to different databases or sources. Okay, it can have a
Yeah.
drivers to connect to relational data sources as well as flat file sources as well as cloud computing data also. So what do you mean by cloud computing? Any idea? Right now,
No.
actually, they are moving on to a service-oriented architecture. Okay, in this
Okay. Yeah.
service-oriented architecture, everything is treated as a service. Okay, so if you want to connect to one, so one application wants to talk to other application, actually they create some web service. Okay, through this web service, these two applications can interact. Web service is
Yeah.
nothing but your XML files. Okay.
Yeah.
So SOA architecture is coming up in a great phase right now, and we have some applications or different vendors which provide uh, data computing, that is a cloud computing environments. So what do you mean by a cloud? It's like some virtual. Okay, so whenever you have any data or an application, it is made as virtual and stored in one of the cloud. They call it as a cloud is nothing but your group of computers. In simple terms, cloud is nothing but your group of computers that serve your purpose of your service. Okay, so the cloud computing has software as a service. Okay, then you have platform as a service. So these are some of the set of services they provide, and then database as a service. Okay, as a service, and they can also provide some web services. Okay, so they have some
Yeah.
different options like, so what they are, why they are going to the cloud computing is they want to minimize the variable cost. Okay, so if you see, there is a service called platform as a service. So platform means the vendor, which is the third party, will provide all the servers and he will configure all the servers and maintain the servers from your actual company. That if you have a client, the client computers, everything, the servers are maintained by a third party. Okay, and they will
Yeah.
store that in a form of a cloud. Okay, so
Yeah.
whenever you access from anywhere online, you will be able to access all those applications from anywhere. Most of it are online right now. Okay, so you can
Yeah.
configure the servers online and you can take the help of the vendor who is providing the cloud computing. Okay, so by making, that is, we are giving out our hardware maintenance to a third party.
Yeah.
Okay, and they will maintain the systems. So per usage, so they will charge per usage, like per bandwidth usage that
Yeah.
is used by your applications or users. Okay, so what they
Okay.
do is they will charge, and whenever you have any issues, the cloud computing environment will be very faster because they have some indexing techniques and they can access the data around the world. You don't know, like if you have your computer included in the cloud, you will not know what is stored on your machine. Okay, so whenever you are saving it, it will get stored in any of the cloud anywhere around the world, but they will configure like
Okay.
that. So whenever you retrieve, it will get the data from all the areas. So they are just maintaining all the servers, package space, server space, racks, everything. So they will be using. So now the fixed cost, which is there as a hardware, is being moved into a variable cost, right?
Yeah.
For organizations, if they are paying as per the usage, they have a lot of. There will not be any fixed cost associated with it, and there will also no depreciation cost for all your machines and so on. Okay. So
That's
whenever
right.
you have,
Yeah.
so they want to convert everything into a variable here. So the cloud computing environment also hosts databases which are accessed online and configured online. So you can
Okay.
connect to those type of databases also from your database drivers, which is there from XI 3.0 onwards.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so that is the data type which consists of. And what about the client type?
Mm.
Client type consists of browser-based applications
Yeah.
and packaged applications. Means these are the applications through which you interact with your business objects, which are visible.
Yeah.
Okay, it can either
Yeah.
be online version or in locally installed applications. Okay, so examples of the browser-based applications which we have in your XI or XI version onwards, like we have InfoView,
Mm-hmm.
which is a portal, business objects portal, where you host all your reports, everything, and create web intelligence reports and store it in some of the folders. So whenever other users can access it from your respective folders. Okay. Then we have CMC, which is nothing but your central management console.
Yeah.
This is a main tool which is used to administration in your business objects enterprise. It is used to manage the licenses, servers, objects, folders, groups, security, and you have instances manager where you can monitor the instances which are running in the backend.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have some events, server-based events. All those can be controlled from your CMC. And it is an online application. You can access the
Okay.
CMC through a URL and also the InfoView also by URL. Okay. Then
Yeah.
we have custom applications. In the sense, it is not always necessary that if you use the same interface which you are by default it is installed. You may say like this is actually a web application, right? If you have a
Yeah.
web application, you should have a web application server which has to be catering to our requirement, right?
Yeah.
So this application server might be in different languages. It can be from your Java or .NET. Okay, you can create your own custom application, that is your own website, and access
Mm.
your reporting documents online.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so the
Yeah. You could
interface,
have your own.
your own application, web application, so that
Yeah.
you can directly contact your documents and view them in the online, create everything.
Okay.
Okay, they use either a Java or a .NET package, SDKs, Java SDKs or .NET SDKs. If you want to customize the application, you have to know either of these two based on the application server which is there on your project. So if you have
Okay.
a Java application that is a Tomcat server,
Mm.
Apache Tomcat server, then you have
Mm.
to use Java language to create your custom application. If you have
Yeah.
a .jsp or Java applications, you can create. And you can, if you have an IAS server, okay,
Mm.
we can create your web pages by using .asp pages. Okay,
Yeah.
so for using this, so for all the browser-based applications, they will be actually interacting with your Java application server. So these are the web server, right? Web server will
Yeah.
host your normal viewable files, whereas the Java or application server will host your server-side scripting. Okay, so whenever you log into the InfoView and whenever you click on log on by clicking your username and password, okay,
Yeah.
it has to show
Yeah.
some pages, right? That pages are, we are getting it from your application server.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is nothing but here. Actually, in our installed machine, it is a Java Tomcat application, Apache Tomcat.
Okay.
So this Apache Tomcat is freely available while installing your Business Objects Enterprise. Actually, this is a open source. Okay, so you can use your Apache Tomcat which comes with the installation, or you can have your own web server from any of your third-party vendors, or you can create your own
Okay.
web server.
Okay.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
application, okay, this will form your application tag. Okay, so the application tag consists of Apache Tomcat application server which hosts the Java SDK, and then
Mm-hmm.
if you have an Microsoft IAS, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we will have .NET SDKs,
Yeah.
Internet Information Server. Then we have .NET SDKs used. Okay, so all the server sides hosting and pages are all deployed to any of the application server based on the application server which we have installed. So whenever you interact from your browser or from your packaged application, it will go to,
Mm-hmm.
the request will go to the application tab and get the required
Yeah.
pages and show it in the web pages. Okay,
Yeah.
so these
Yeah.
two application and you have a packaged applications like I told you there are browser based and packaged, right?
That's right. Yeah.
We will have designer, okay, then we have CCM, that is central configuration manager, which is a server management tool. Then we have import wizard, which is used to move the documents from one environment to other, and we have publishing wizard. I'll explain in detail later what are all these.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so publishing wizard is mainly used to mass publish your documents from your local computer onto your repository. Okay, you want to save some 100 reports which you have created locally onto your CMS repository. You can publish
Yeah.
by using your publishing wizard. Okay,
Yeah.
so these packaged applications also interact with your application tag. Okay, so then we
Yeah.
have an, so this is the application tag. Then we have a, one second.
Yeah.
ఎందుకు ఏడుస్తున్నావు? Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
So in the intelligence tab, what we have is like, I'll just show you the PPT. It shows the picture which has all the tabs.
Yeah. I have it with me now.
Yeah. Just let me shift. Okay. If you see here, there is actually a client tab which I told we have browser and package applications. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we have a application tab which has either a Java platform or a .NET platform based on the type
Yes.
of application server you install. Then in the
Yeah.
intelligence tab we have the main 4 servers which we are there. This intelligence tier is called as a brain of your business objects enterprise, whereas your
Okay.
processing tier is same like your heart of your business objects. Okay, so without these two tiers, nothing is possible in your business objects enterprise. Okay, so in this
Okay. Yeah.
intelligence tier, there are some set of services which will be
Mm-hmm.
running in the backend. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there are 4 types. Okay, one is the central management server, which is the main server which will interact with
Yeah.
all your remaining tags and with the other services. Okay,
Yeah.
and maintains the integrity of your business objects enterprise. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
the CMS as I told you, there will be some repository database that needs to be created. Okay, so this CMS server is responsible for maintaining your repository databases. Okay, this central management server, we will configure the central management server in such a way that we give in the configuration, in the properties, we mention two databases. One is a repository database and other is an audit database. So repository database will consist of metadata information, okay, and then we have audit database which will store the user actions, okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to know like whether a particular, I want to know who has refreshed the report this time, then you will be able to understand, you will be able to get the data from your audit database. So who has done and when he has done, what are all the objects he has accessed and who has deleted that object. All those post-mortem activities can be done on your audit database. That is used by mainly by your administrator. Okay. So then you have the CMS repository as I told you, and then there is another different function which maintains the security of your business objects enterprise. Because it has the connection to the repository, it will always check the username and password with your database repository which is stored in your database, so that you will know like if a user logs into the client tab, first thing is you will give the username and password and log on. So whenever you click on log on, the central management server will go and check the central management database and see if the required user has access to the info view or not.
Yeah.
If it is there,
just to interrupt here.
Yeah.
For a normal VO consultant, are they supposed to do all this configuration for repository database and audit database when it comes to CMS, all these things? Or is it just only to know?
Everyone got cold in our.
I know once one of the family member gets kids will catch it soon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, this information is required whenever you want to debug the environment. Suppose their report is not working fine, and you want to know what particular reasons why it is not working.
Okay.
So at that time, to do some research, like to have. So whenever you go to the logs, application logs, you will see that responsive errors, right? So by looking at the errors, you should know like, okay, this is a server which was causing the issue. So you can directly hit on that server and restart, or you do some activity on that.
Okay. And also the user creations and all those things, are they
as a
normally
developer?
expected?
Normally if you are in a client side, like if you are going for a client side roles, they expect you to have the central management console, that is knowledge, like how do you create the user groups, how do you start the servers, how do you configure the servers. So if that is the case, if it is an initial project, they will be compulsorily it is required. Okay, but if you are going on a vendor side as in just an consultant, you will not be able to having this much administration exposure. So if you are a developer, you will not have an administrator exposure. But if the role is an administrator, you have to know all these things, how the flows, information flows from one type to other type.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
So what I've done is like I'm just checking you. I'm just telling the central management server will take information from your client tab, verify with your CMS database, okay, and then give the respective access in that browser. Okay. Individual level of edit, like if you have each menu bar which is visible in your info view can be controlled from your central management console. Okay. So you can disable and enable by using some advanced parameters we have.
Okay.
So So based on the access, you will be able to see the report. Okay.
Yeah.
So it manages the objects, it manages the security, it manages the repository, and maintains the integrity between the servers, other servers. So everything should be, any information should be passed from your CMS only. First thing will come into picture is CMS. CMS is a central process which will manage the whole business objects environment. Okay. Right now,
Yeah.
the SIA has come into picture in your business objects XIR 3.0, where I will show you. So if you go to the central configuration manager, okay, you see these are all the servers which are installed whenever you install business objects, and also the integration
Okay.
kit. Okay, so this
Okay.
is the Apache Tomcat server,
Yeah.
and we have the server intelligence agent. Okay, under the server
Yeah.
intelligence agent, you will have the remaining all services. Okay, they have
Okay.
just grouped in R 3.1 onwards or 3.0 onwards. They have introduced a new service called Server Intelligence Agent. So instead of stopping a different set of services at a time,
Yeah.
by separately each time, they have grouped
Yeah.
all the services under one SIA. So whenever you restart this
Okay.
SIA, all the services under that will be restarted automatically.
Okay.
Okay, so CMS, cache server, and all the other services are the part of your SIA. Okay,
Okay.
so since I have installed only on one computer, it is saying the computer name. But if you have
Okay.
included the servers, so there is actually a add server intelligence agent wizard, which will help you and add nodes to the current server. So you can add one more computer, and on that computer you might first have installed the SIA with other services. So whenever
Okay.
you add this where this, then it will become a cluster. Okay, so this
Yeah.
clustering is can be done from your CCM, and it is specifically used for your failover and performance improvement. Like if you
Yeah.
have any failover, then it will shift all the jobs to the next server.
Yeah.
But if you have a what do you say? So if you have any other failover mechanism as well as your backup, like if something happens on one machine, you can direct the load to other machine. Load balancing,
Okay.
I can say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that is all done from your central configuration manager. Okay. So this central server intelligence agent internally will consist of all the services. So this server intelligence agent has a configuration tab here, which is used to add your CMS database connection and audit database connection. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Since it has already started and running, you are not seeing these options enabled. But if you stop
Yeah.
it, you will get to know that if you specify, you will ask for your drivers. Where, like in the
Okay.
relation, Oracle MySQL and then SQL Server, then you have Oracle and Sybase drivers. So you can create a repository on only on these servers.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the one. So all the services which you have in your intelligence and processing are now
Yeah.
coming under your SIA. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's just go in detail with this cat server, file repository server, email server, and then we go to this processing time.
Yeah. I just forgot to ask you though. Um, I mean, like previous class, we discussed that we'll try to record the class as we go.
So actually, I have just started recording it, but
Oh, okay.
actually it is not recording properly. So I have to check it. So this is another ID I am using it.
Okay.
So you can just go through the slides. It's enough actually.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
slides, everything is explained.
Yeah. Those things are okay. But, sorry.
1 second, let me drink some water.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Hello? Yeah. Hello? 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 ఆమె కూడా ఏం చేయాలి ఏం చేయాలి నీ పరిస్థితి అలా ఉంది నా పరిస్థితి అలా ఉంది దాని పరిస్థితి అలా ఉంది నేను ఇంకా okay. Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
Actually, it will be boring actually, but these are actually this is the important one. Which covers
No, I
whole
actually
slide, yeah.
went through most of the
No, I'm
slides,
just
so I didn't
yeah.
really find it anything boring as such.
So initially when I took the
That's the
training,
reason.
initially when I
Yeah.
took the training in 2000, so I had all gone on my head, over my head. I had to clearly
Okay.
again go each and every slide and then learn it and then understand.
No, actually,
Yeah.
that's the reason I asked for the
Yeah.
PDF before, so that if I go through once, I'll be
Yeah.
more interested because some of the things like if you're not really,
Yeah.
if you don't know, you really feel you're looking at something new and you go blank sometimes. So
Yes.
yeah,
So
this helps actually. If I have a look at it before and
yeah.
if you go through.
Yes. So if you see here, actually this intelligence tab, remaining servers like we have cache server, file repository servers and event server. Okay. So the cache server is actually a temporary, which is a service which manages the temporary area. Okay. The cache area where you have all the cached pages which are viewed in the client tab. So whenever you have any report opened from a client tab, the copy of it will be stored in your cache server. Whenever the next time, whenever you view the same report, it will not go and uh, it will not, the central management server will first contact the cache server to see if the
Yeah.
requested page is there. Okay, if it is not there, it will just inform the processing type, any of the services in here process that
Yeah.
entire based on the type of document it processes. Okay, so the cache
Yeah.
server mainly maintains your temporary storage area where we store all the documents, whatever we view it from your web browser or a packaged application, we all store those documents in a .epf format, encapsulated format. Okay, so if you go into the cache
Dot
area,
EPF.
.epf files,
Okay.
P for palm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there, this if the cache server is down also, you will not be able to proceed until your cache server is up, because if the cache server is down, there is no access to the cached pages, and it will inform the CMS, and it doesn't know whether a cache page is there in a cache server or not. So it has to wait. The
Okay.
CMS server will be waiting for the response from cache server. Okay, if
Okay.
it is down, it will
Yeah.
not get a response, and you will not be able to view, and it will get stuck on your web intelligence or your client tab.
Okay.
Okay, so if you have any problem in opening your cached pages or previously opened reports, you have to check the size of a cache server on your server. That is nothing but your input folder most of the time. And if the input folder exceeds your file root directory, it will always be a problem. So you should always maintain and check your cache server settings as well as your file repository servers. File repository servers in the sense like I told you, like the actual file will be stored in a directory, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that directory is an input directory. The name will have a input. Okay. The
Mhm.
directory name is input. Under that, it will store your actual physical objects, whatever you create in your business objects. Okay. So in the similar way, like the input folder, you also have an output folder. These are
Yeah.
all there in your slides. Okay. So you also
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
an output repository output folder. Okay. That
Yeah.
output folder will contain all the instances of your reports. So if I create a report, it will first go and store in the input directory. Whenever you
Yeah.
open the report and refresh it, that refreshed instance will be stored in your output directory. Okay. So
Okay.
if you are asked like what that input folder contains, it should say like actual physical original objects. Okay. Whereas the output directory will consist of instances of your objects which are
Okay.
there in your business objects enterprise. So whenever you schedule a report, okay, to run at
Yeah.
particular interval of time, like to repeat at every day at particular time, you have to schedule that report so that it gets refreshed, and by the time we come to the office, we will see the data, refresh data in your report, right? If you
Okay.
have a long running queries, what they do is they will schedule it at the offline hours.
Yeah.
So that offline hours scheduling, whenever a schedule is created and whenever it runs as an instance. Okay. So all
Okay.
those
Yeah.
instances will be stored in your output directory.
Output directory.
Okay. So there are two
Yeah.
directories, input and output directory.
Output.
Okay. And that will be there on your CMS server wherever it is
Okay.
installed by default. Okay. You
Yeah.
can also,
But
yeah,
but the actual report will be stored in the input directory.
yes.
Oh.
Okay, then we have input file repository service and output file repository service, okay, which maintains these two respectively two directories, input and output. Okay,
Okay.
so writing back and reading back from all this will be done by a file repository servers. So without file repository servers, you will not be able to access the document itself. Okay.
Okay.
So then we have event server. Okay. This event server is specifically used by your scheduling jobs. So whenever I want to have a particular job scheduling, that is a report should be refreshed whenever I get a file from a different source. So right. So on the event of file present in your particular directory, it will immediately initiate your scheduling. So I say on arrival of some flat file from the source, please schedule the job. So this is like event. So event is happening. So that events are managed by your event server. Okay. And there will be two types of events. One is a file based event and schedule based events. Okay. File based events will be depending, as I told you, like on arrival of a flat file, you start the job. Okay. Scheduled thing is like event is like on completion of one schedule, please trigger another schedule. So you can have a dependency jobs running by using your event server. So that will initiate all your events. Whenever an event particular occur, it will inform your CMS saying that this event has occurred, please initiate the job. So then CMS will initiate the job and run the required report. Okay. So that is what happens in your intelligence stack. So you have CMS server, cache server, file repository servers, and event server. So I just want to show you, like I want to create a report. I'll just show you a demo, like how input directory is getting stored with your flat file, where it is getting stored, and how do you go to that directory and view that actual file. Okay. So whenever I say, let me just open the info view, Java info view. This is actually the portal. Actually, we had one server which actually the motherboard was crashed. Okay. So we are actually procuring a new one. So it will just take 2 to 3 days for installing, setting up all the software again. So from there, actually, we provide the access to you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just had a query though regarding the installation.
Yeah.
Because there are some crystal reports and Excel sheets. They are all available for trial version though. I could install them.
Yes. Integration kit is not actually available.
Okay.
So actually integration kit is not available freely. Only then if you have an SAP BI software which you are using, they will provide an integration kit for freely.
Okay.
That is actually client specific.
I do have SAP BI. I got it installed on a laptop hard disk.
Okay.
I don't want to mess up with that one.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like I got it done from India itself. So if I try to install BO on it, I don't know what happens to that. So I just don't want to.
So what is the RAM you are having on that laptop?
4 gig.
4 gig, it's fine. It's really fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually install that, but actually we don't have that integration.
My question was like, can I install it on an external hard disk and access it?
No,
I can't. Okay.
It will be very, very slow.
Okay.
Yeah, we have tried that also. It didn't work.
Okay.
Actually, we have installed an image which has PI and BO on a separate hard disk, and we tried to access it from your laptop or any other desktop machine. It was very dead slow actually. So the virtual machine itself is slow.
Okay. I was thinking of just having the BO on external one. BI is already in the inbuilt hard disk.
Yeah, so BI is there and you have enterprise, but actually there should be some separate order in which we have to install the software actually.
Okay.
So if you install all the software once and integration kit later, the integration options will not be visible in your Crystal report, Excel CS, and you have some live office plugins and so on.
Okay.
So we have to do it in an order. First thing is enterprise edition, which we have to install. Then we have to install the integration kit. Okay. Then after that, after the installation, before that integration kit, we have to install the SAP GUI. So already GUI will be there on your laptop, right? So you
Yeah.
have to install your, then you have to install the integration kit. After that, you have to install your remaining, that is Crystal Reports, Live Office, and as well as your other tools. One
Oh,
second.
okay.
I'm just taking it out.
Sure.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm just opening an info view.
Yeah.
So I'll just show you the properties here, like just the feature samples. If you have the area-wise sales report, which is already there, okay, I just want to see the properties here. So you can see under that input directory, under that certain directories you have,
Yeah.
it will store this
Yeah.
WID file. Okay, so
Yeah.
we create its own it will always store in some particular directories, create some particular subdirectories. Under that, it will create
Yeah.
a flat file. So, okay.
Okay.
So, the name which you see here is the same which you have seen in this CUID.
Okay.
Okay. We'll take that CUID name dot .wid and store it in your input directory. So, I'll just open this
Okay.
and then show you.
Yeah.
I have that installed on a program files. We have program files, business objects 12.0. Then you have the file store. Okay. Here you can see input and output directory.
Yeah.
Okay. Under your
Yeah.
installation directory, you have a subfolder called file store. Under that, you have this input and output directory. Okay.
Yeah.
So you open it, or else you just copy that path which we had. Control C. // already showing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you click on it, you will see this is the file where it is got stored. So if you open it,
Yeah.
it will be opened in your local, which is there, the offline version, Web Intelligence offline version.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a new tool
Yeah.
which is added in your XIR3, which is called as a Web Intelligence Rich Client. So you can also work online as well as offline by saying that it is
Okay.
a standalone. You don't need to access any CMS. You can work on it. And if there is any issue with your web server, okay, and you are not able to create the reports or analyze the reports, we use this Web Intelligence Rich Client, okay,
Okay.
to access your local documents. Okay, so and work on it. After the web server is up, you can export it to your CMS repository.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the actual file which is having the same name which you are seeing here, the area wise sales.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever you say in the online version, you are just double clicking on it, you are viewing it. The report can be viewed by double clicking on it, or right click
Okay.
view. Okay, actually this is a report created on SAP BW actually. Okay, so if you go there from your local version, your directory,
Yeah.
let's see if it is the same file. See if it is the same report. Okay, to ask your login name, password. Okay, you can see this is the same report which you can view it online. Okay, If you say edit,
This is online one.
yes. Okay. Let's just open.
And the other one is offline one?
Yeah, this is an offline one. Web Intelligence Rich
Okay.
Client. You can see
Okay.
here. You can see the same. So the Web Intelligence online and the Web Intelligence offline version is the same interface. There is no
Okay.
change. It's exactly the same with your offline and online. So you can work offline. You can create your reports wherever you want and then submit the reports to your repository. Okay.
Okay.
Just I want to show that input file where it's
Okay.
getting stored. In the same way, whenever you have any scheduling happen, okay, so it will open up a instance. It will create an instance in your output folder. Okay.
Okay.
So just let's go to here. Continue here. So that input folder are managed by input file repository server and output file. So where can you see those services? Okay. You should get a doubt like where you have to see those services. Okay, so you should have access to your CMC. This is a different application, Central Management Application Console, and you log in. And you will see, so these are the objects, or we can manage, organize, define and manage all these things in your CMC.
Okay.
Right, if you go to the servers, if you go to the core services here, which comes here, intelligence tier, and you can see here input file repository and output file repository. So they are maintaining those two directories by default.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you have a event server also, and in this they have actually replaced the cache server with adaptive processing server and adaptive job server. Okay, in your say R3 onwards, so it's not required right now. Okay, so just so this is how the information you can see how architecture on your business objects. So you should be able to identify which folder it is getting stored and what are its properties and everything stuff. Okay. So then we have a processing tier. Okay. The processing tier actually has two types of servers. Servers or services, both are changed interchangeably because they will be using sometimes you can install a CMS on a separate machine and you can call that as a CMS server. Okay, you can install particular services on particular machines and you can call that as servers. So that's why if you have all the servers on the same machine, you call that as a service.
Okay.
Okay. So in the processing tier, actually we have job servers and report servers, two categories of servers. Okay. Apart from their job servers and report servers, we have we have connection server, page server, and list of values job server. So these are all set of services which will be running in the backend, which will be helpful in processing your view request or any client request coming from your application type. Okay. So based on the type of document you process, the respective job server or report server will come into picture. Suppose if there is a document called Web Intelligence document and if it is scheduled to run at particular time, okay, so on arrival of that particular time, the Web Intelligence job server will initiate the job. Okay, after initiating, it will inform the report server. Okay, job servers will just initiate the jobs and the report server will process that request. Okay, so what I can say is like, if you are viewing a report and you are refreshing a report, okay, if it is not available in the cache server, okay, it will come to the processing tab. In the processing tab, it will contact the page server. Cache server will contact the page server. The page server will internally use the Web Intelligence report server to retrieve the data from your database. Okay, and then it will inform the cache server. Page server with the help of a report server will pull the data, store the pages in the cache, and it will be giving the pages to your client. Understood, right? So scheduling is different activity. Okay, manual refresh is different activity. So whenever you do these different activities, the different set of flow will happen between the services. So if you want to go for an administration certification, you have to know how the information flows through these tiers whenever any action is happening.
Okay.
Okay, so that will be coming on by experience. Okay, so you cannot get it on a single day or a year or something like. It will always get on the experience only. Okay. So these are the main processing tier. Processing tier, if you are having any Java program, okay, if you are having a Java program that is refreshing a report. So we have created a Java program to refresh manually a report. Okay, so then it is scheduled. Program jobs can also be scheduled, right? So that program job will be taken care by this program job server, which you have here. Okay. So this program job server will first initiate that program, and based on the type of document you are processing, it will go to the respective report server. Okay. If you are using a program to refresh a crystal report, okay, so it will go to the request will be passing on to a report job server or a report application server based on the type of viewer you are using at the client. Okay. If you are having an advanced HTML viewer in your client, the real application server will be used while refreshing the crystal report. Okay. If you are not using any advanced and you are using a normal Java, then it will be used by the report job server. Okay. This is all there in your other slides which we have in the next slides. Okay. So then we have so the page server is over, the web intelligence job server is over, program and report job server over, and RAS is also over. Okay. Then we have destination job server. Okay. And the list of values job server and remaining servers. Okay. If you are processing a desktop intelligence document, that is a local created report, then it will be processed by a desktop intelligence job server. Okay. If you have any report scheduling, okay, after scheduling you want to keep the document in one of the directory, or you want to send it by email, or send it in any shared drive or something. That destination is controlled by your destination job server. Okay. Then we have a connection server. Sorry, list of values job server. This list of values job server is mainly used by your prompts. They are called as variables in your SAP BO. In your SAP back side, if you create a variable, you will get a prompt whenever you are refreshing the report to accept the inputs from the user, right? So there you will have the list of values coming up from the database, right? Whenever you click on the values, you will see all the list of values, right? So those list of values we will be getting it from your database by making use of list of values job server. Okay. Then we have the connection server. The connection server is the main part which will be interacting with your data type. Okay. All the reporting servers will interact with your connection server to get the data from your database. The connection server will maintain the connectivity with your data tier and your processing tier. These are nothing but drivers. So you make use of the driver and connect to the database. That connecting part is done by your connection server. Okay, to the source or to the repository. Then we have a document processing server, which I have told you. It is used by your desktop intelligence job server for processing your desktop intelligence documents. So we have a Desky, we have a designer, we have an info view, right? So Desky is nothing but your standalone reporting tool, which was popular from a long time. Okay, and we have your info view, where you can create your online reports called as web intelligence documents. Okay, so those Desky documents are processed, or scheduling is processed by using desktop intelligence job server. Okay, so this is how the architecture is there. Okay, so you just need to know the purpose of each service. That's it. So if you want to go for a certification, later try like how the information flows. So if you want to go for a certification, actually there will be guides which will be already there on online. You can just check there and see they have explained the different scenarios how the data flows from one server to other. Okay, so you can just
Yeah.
go through those services if you want to go for the certification.
Okay.
So for
Yeah.
the certification point of view, this is
Yeah.
very important. Okay,
Okay.
so this is all.
When you
Yeah.
when you say certification for administration, so there are two types of certifications for business objects, or
Actually,
which
yeah,
is?
in the developer side, we have web intelligence certification, which consists of two
Mm-hmm.
papers, level 1 and
Mm-hmm.
level 2. And then we
Okay.
have crystal reports certification, which is nothing but
Okay.
your crystal reports level 1 and level 2. If you pass
Okay.
both the levels, then you are a certified crystal report developer or a web intelligence
Okay.
developer.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have a
Oh.
administration side. You have three levels.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
one is
Yeah.
administrating servers paper, which is exclusively
Yeah.
for servers. Then your user
Uh-huh.
groups and security. Then third,
Yeah.
you will be having a capacity planning plan. How do you
Okay.
configure how many servers are required? If you have a requirement of this thing and that. So
Okay.
three levels are required for to get a business objects certified administrator.
Okay.
Actually, I have done my business objects XIR2 certification, but I haven't
Okay.
done the upgrade certification.
Okay. When you say business objects are two certification, do you mean to say you have done
Release.
administration and both web intelligence
No,
and
no,
crystal
only
reports?
administration. So we
Okay.
have Vivo
Okay.
XIR3 administration certification, Vivo XIR2
Mm-hmm.
certification. Because it is a new version,
Oh.
so there is
Yeah.
also an upgrade version exam. I have to write that exam to become a
Oh.
XIR3 certified administrator.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So what we go is right now is next we will learn. So the after, if you want to, if you can go through these slides, so
Yeah.
it will be containing all the information which I have told you.
Yeah.
Okay. So it
Yeah.
will explain in detail like the basics, like what is InfoView, what are all the tiers, services, what are its functions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You can just go through that. Okay.
Yeah.
That is what explained in all this.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have what's new in your XIR3 here.
Yeah.
Okay. In XIR3, in XI version onwards, you know, right? We have a administration console which is online. So what happened to your PO 6.5 then? In 6.5, we have a supervisor, a tool called supervisor, which is a
Mm-hmm.
desktop-based software. It is not online version.
Okay.
Okay. So that has been converted to a online version in your XI version onwards. Okay. Then you
Okay.
have this repository shrinking and everything. Then you have others like web intelligence. We have
Mm-hmm.
other documents like dashboard creation, and all those
Yeah.
topics are added in your XI
Oh.
version onwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we go to the XIR latest version information, like what are its contents, like what are its 1 second.
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah. Sure.
హలో శివయ్య. చెప్పన్నా. యాక్చువల్గా వస్తున్నాను కానీ వర్షం పడుతుంది కదా. పని చేస్తావా నువ్వు? ఒకవేళ నీకు వీలైతే పొద్దున వీళ్ళతోనే వచ్చి జాయిన్ అయిపోతావా? బట్ ఇట్ విల్ బి జస్ట్ రిపిటేషన్, బట్ గుడ్ కదా. ఒక్కరి కోసం అని నేను రాలేకపోతున్నాను అందుకు. 10:30కి యాక్చువల్గా 10:30 to 12:30 ఒకటి బ్యాచ్, ఒకటి ఫస్ట్, తర్వాత సెకండ్ సెషన్ ఇన్ ద ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ 3 o'clock to 4:30, 2 sessions. బికాజ్ యాక్చువల్గా వీళ్ళది క్రాష్ కోర్స్ అనమాట. సో ఐమ్ జస్ట్ మేకింగ్ ఇట్ ఫాస్ట్ అనమాట. సో మీరు తొందరనే అందుకోగలుగుతారు మనం ఎక్కడైతే ఆపాము. ఓకే. రేపు మార్నింగ్ 10:30. ఓకే, బై. ఏమైంది ఇంటర్వ్యూ? ఓకే ఓకే. రెజ్యూమే అయితే తయారు చేసి పెట్టావు కదా. ఓకే సరే, ప్రిపేర్ అవుతూ ఉండు. సరే ఓకే బాయ్. హలో యా
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually in XIR 3.1 onwards, the integration was mainly considered with your SAP and different environments. So
Yeah.
they have some features which are added in the integration, and they have some they have modified in layer in such a way that they can access your latest environments. Like you have Microsoft environments like we have, and it can be
Mm-hmm.
installed on Windows Server 2008, because it is actually from 3.1 we have 64-bit version of software. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you can also
Yeah.
have both versions, like we have 32-bit as well as 64. So if you have a 64,
Okay.
we can install it on your Microsoft Windows Server 2008 as well as your SQL Server 2008. So they have some
Okay.
integration capabilities added to all this set of improvements which were there in your Microsoft. The latest
Oh.
versions all can be accessed with your integration kits of Microsoft.
Okay.
In the same way, we have Oracle Enterprise Integration Kit,
Mm-hmm.
where you can access your PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, and CBL applications. And recently,
Mm-hmm.
you might have known like PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, and CBL. These three are acquired by Business Oracle actually.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now they have the e-business suite, which you
Mm.
can directly connect to that e-business suite by installing an integration kit for Oracle in between your Oracle database as well as your business objects. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Then new data sources or drivers are added, which can access
Uh-huh.
your HP NeoView database. Okay, and we
Mm-hmm.
have, as I told you, SQL Server, Netezza, it's an open source, Oracle 10G,
Mm-hmm.
L11G, RAC,
Mm-hmm.
Post. You can also do some PostgreSQL. Then you can connect
Mm-hmm.
to latest version of your Teradata also from your
Okay.
business objects. So they can
Yeah.
be these data sources and added. As I told you, it supports the 64-bit implementation, and it
Mm-hmm.
contains so that the HP UX system, which consists of 64-bit architecture, now is supported
Yeah.
by your business objects. So
Okay.
business intelligence tool, like in Voyager, as I told you, that
Mm-hmm.
Voyager is a multi-dimensional analysis tool which can be
Mm-hmm.
accessed from your InfoView.
Okay.
Okay, and this had some new features added in your Voyager, that is a
Yeah.
box chart, scatter chart,
Mm-hmm.
radar, and bubble charts.
Okay.
Okay, then there is a more flexibility in terms of your reporting on your web intelligence. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
they have given some options like copy paste one block from one report to another block, and it is same
Okay.
like your Word document. All the
Yeah.
features of your Word are flexible and can be used on your web intelligence.
Okay.
Okay, and we have an
Yeah.
option called web intelligence. If you see, like in the web intelligence document, you have an option to save as an Excel sheet. If you refresh a report, and if you
Mm-hmm.
want to save as an Excel sheet, it is always possible that an Excel sheet cannot store more than 65k rows, right? It has a
Mm-hmm.
limitation like 65k rows can be accommodated in each sheet. So what it does
Yeah.
is, like whenever you say save as export or save as CSV files, or then it will or multiple Excel sheets will be created based on your report. If
Wow.
I say like,
Mm-hmm.
if you have a 65k, more than 65k rows, all the rows which are
Mm-hmm.
greater than 65k will be accommodated in the next sheet.
Okay.
Okay, so that is
Yeah.
added as a feature expansion of your Microsoft Excel export functionalities.
Yeah.
Okay, in the web intelligence side, and then we have an
Mm-hmm.
option to cancel, refresh, on open. So
Okay.
actually, in each web intelligence document, in the document properties, we have an option called refresh on open. Okay,
Okay.
so whenever you are
Yeah.
opening the document, it will get refreshed. Okay, suppose
Okay.
suppose if there is an option, if there is a delay in getting the refresh data, then we have to wait until the refresh is complete to see the report. If you cancel it, you will not be able to see the report itself. Okay.
Yeah.
So what they do is they have given an option, that is a checkbox on a refresh window, where you
Yeah.
can select it. Okay. Option to cancel refresh. 1 second.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has an option to cancel, refresh and open. Whenever it is refreshing, you will have a button. So it will just cancel that refresh. So you can just
Okay.
view the report. So then there is an option called automatic loading of list of values. As I told you, if you have a prompt, there will not be an option to refresh the list of values while loading the document. So they have added this option.
Okay.
Automatically load the list of values whenever you are refreshing the report.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have then there is a new add-in or a plugin which was added to your XIR3 called as LCM, Lifecycle Management, which is specifically used for our document management purpose or project management purpose. Like if you are having some document that needs to be moved from your development to QA, we use this LCM and maintain the versions. So the version control is possible by using this LCM. Without this
Yeah.
LCM, prior to this, we have to maintain the versioning based on a support third-party tool. Like there is no option of version control in your business objects. So always you will
Okay.
see the latest version of an object in your enterprise. So you have
Okay.
to maintain that versioning by using a third-party tool before you change or do some changes in the production.
Okay. So any CVS or
Yeah,
version control,
yeah, Visual Source Safe, and you have Microsoft SharePoint,
SVN or
yeah, whatever third-party versioning control tools.
yeah.
Okay. So because of this LCM, now it is also possible to check the dependency check and analysis. Suppose if a
Okay.
report is exported, like if you want to move the report from development to QA, and you have selected the report, but you haven't selected the underlying universe. Okay. So while exporting, it will just mention that there is actually dependency on other objects. So you want to export that also or not. So you have a dependency check while moving the document from one environment to other environment. Okay. Then we have an
Yeah.
option called, so you can maintain the auditing and scheduling of the different versions of the data from your lifecycle management.
Okay.
Okay. You can just check if a version 4 is there and a version 5 is the latest version. So you want to compare the data of your version 5 and a version 4. You can do it by scheduling it from your lifecycle management. Okay. Then you have a delegated administration, which means that if in a typical project, an BO enterprise administrator will be either one or two. Okay. And both of them are on leave. Okay. So while before going on the leave, they can delegate this administration task from your lifecycle management to a other
Okay.
person who is already there in your organization. Then if you delete by mistake any document, you can roll back by using this content lifecycle management, where you have a same like your desktop bin like that, where you store all your deleted documents. You got
Okay.
reverted back. And main other more important feature we have in your thing is it supports 64-bit IP address. Okay.
Yeah.
Now up to now the XI R2 and R3 3.0 also we have only 32-bit version software and 32-bit software and 32-bit IP address. Now it supports
Okay.
64-bit IP address and 64-bit. It has become a 64-bit software. Okay, you can use the multi-forest active directory usernames to log on onto your business objects also. So you can map your existing enterprise IDs to your business objects. So in the same
Okay.
slide, we have a single sign-on facility where you can, suppose if you have an SAP BI ID, so we can make
Mm.
use of that SAP BI ID itself to log on into your different tools and do that too.
Okay.
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 That is possible after your installation of your integration kits. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you have a new tools added, repository diagnostic tool and translation manager. These are desktop based tools. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Repository diagnostic tool is mainly responsible for checking all the servers, how they are working
Mm-hmm.
or not. So whenever you
Oh.
say you run any test on this repository diagnostic tool, it will just
Mm-hmm.
run start and stop all the services, and it will give
Yeah.
you what are all the issues if you have anything.
Yeah.
It will suggest your actions to perform on the repository. Then you have a translation manager which is used to translate all the objects from one language to other language. So we have objects of,
Mm-hmm.
if you are in English, you can convert it into 17 or 18 new languages which are added by using
Yeah.
this translation. Only the metadata will be changed, not the data. Okay.
Okay.
So if you have an
Yeah.
object names and everything, only those will be changed and it will not change any other data. So
Okay.
these are the brief changes which are there from your XIR3 or from along with the other R2. Okay.
Yeah.
So you should
Yeah.
know, like if you are asked any question on the XIR3 features, if you tell all
Mm-hmm.
these 3 or 4 features, then it's enough.
Mm-hmm.
They will understand.
Okay.
If you
Okay.
have any developer position, they will always
Mm-hmm.
ask with respect to your web intelligence, which was already explained here, like 65K
Mm-hmm.
rows, right? You can just
Mm-hmm.
explain that. And you
Yeah.
can, if you say like any business or Voyager related enhancements, you can say there are 4 types of
Yeah.
charts added. Okay. So
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
interview questions will come from here only, because I
Okay.
usually prefer and asking questions on these only if I am in interview.
Okay. Okay.
So what are all the new features which you have seen in XIR3? So you can
Okay.
explain all these things.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have at the web intelligence side, you have offline and online. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Online is
Mm-hmm.
from InfoView, offline is from your
Yeah.
rich client. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you have 64-bit software, 64-bit IP
Yeah.
address. You have new
Yeah.
tools. So you can explain a lot of things if you go through this PPTs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have covered the architecture one. Okay, then we will continue tomorrow with your designer directly to your business objects tool, sub-tools which will
Yeah.
be going on. You will be starting the
Yeah.
designer itself. In the designer, like what we do, and do you have the link for all the product guides which I have told you? It might have given you
No.
earlier. One
No.
second, just a minute. Okay, if you type this object product guides in your, you
Yeah.
will get this link. There,
Mm-hmm.
you will see all the documentation there, explaining all the tools, enterprises, differences with your all the XIR3 and R2 in detail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but it was summarized here in this PPT.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we make use of those each feature, all the advanced features which are. Suppose if I want to see business objects enterprise, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the latest is service pack 3. I want to
Yeah.
see the documents. You can see these are all the documents you can
Mm.
download,
Okay.
except the ones which are star marked. You can download other things. For the
Yeah.
star mark, it actually asks for your SAP user ID.
Uh-huh.
You know, like if you have access to SAP software, like you have some access to, if you are an administrator in your organization, you will definitely have access to SAP site. where you can
Okay.
download your hot fixes, patches, everything, service packs, everything.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that user ID you can use it to open this star marked guides service.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So if
Yeah.
you want to, if you are not able to, and if you want any other guide which are star marked, just let me know in a mail. I
Yeah.
will download
Yeah.
and give it to you later.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go into
Sure.
this. Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll continue at the same time, like at 6 o'clock. Is it
Okay.
fine?
Can I have the PowerPoint that you will be using for tomorrow's class so that I can
Yeah,
go
yeah.
through
I'll
before,
send it.
as I need for today?